Okay, it's like a couple hours after I made that last video. I just got back home after I was at work, and I got a couple more notifications that there's more comments. So I'm gonna take a look at those really quick and just debunk them and be done with it. If a ton more comments pop up, okay, but I'll make an update then. But as of right now, this is going to be part 2 of this random comment string. Hopefully it'll be done with because I would like to go to bed. Thank you. So this is where we left off on this last comment. This is the first new one. It says, shepherds are not prone to eye issues. That's huskies you may be thinking of. Shepherds are prone to joint disorders and skin issues mostly, and some gastric issues. Some can be prone to eye issues depending on the line, but it's not one of the more common issues they are prone to. Can I ask where the shit list is and the link to that and the link to the Reddit you keep referring to? Post links below. Right now, everything you are saying is just hearsay. I want to see this evidence you keep talking about. Me too, Ariana. Me too. I'd love to see it. And of course, she responds, yes, the GSDs are indeed prone to eye issues like juvenile cataracts and retina dislocation. I haven't found this in any of my internet searches. If any of you out there are actually German Shepherd breeders, and you know about this, and you've been in the line for a while, compared to this service dog handler who apparently has a golden retriever, which is not a German Shepherd. In case you guys didn't know, German Shepherds and Golden Retrievers are really different, in case you didn't know that. They're different dogs. So I'm not inclined to believe that this girl knows that much about them. But if somebody does, I'd love to hear if that's true or not, although that's not necessarily the most important thing in this comment string, obviously. This is why ethical GSD breeders had their breeders pre-health checked on eyes, hips, shoulders, and elbows before breeding. Any ethical breeder does that. You can go to any ethical breeder's website and they have on their pages that their breeders pre-health checked on eyes, hip, elbow, and shoulders with both OFA and SURF before they are bred. Huskies are not the only breed with eye issues. You really need to research and get your facts straight about GSDs before saying something. Like I have said before, it is on Reddit, and if you can't find it, you either not looking or you refusing to admit to seeing the truth and proof the dog fear nip a child because it is skittish. Yes, the child was naughty as well for running up and start petting it, but the dog was worse when it fear nipped the child. I'm one of many that believe that a dog needs to be washed from service work and PA for child nipping. You know what? I actually agree with that. I think that if a service dog bites someone, it should not be a service dog anymore unless the bite was quite obviously provoked. And when it's with a child, obviously the dog should be trained to not do this, because children obviously don't understand when they're provoking a dog. Obviously people should be teaching their children to not provoke dogs, but still, in this situation, this didn't happen. So, not too worried about that. I've seen what aggressive, fearful dogs with a history of child nipping handy work on children. Personally, such dogs with child nipping history should be put down because there's always that next child nippings that could turn into a fatal attack on a child. Well, I disagree with you because if you agree with that, then every single person that ever hurts another person should also be put down. Or hurts a child, sorry. If they hurt a child, they should be put down. So when you were a child and you pushed another child in kindergarten, you should have been put down. You should have been euthanized. That's what you're saying. B-Town then says, give us the link. Then if it's not, it's all a lie. It's simple. Stop the excuses. I agree. This is insane. The fact that she doesn't actually provide a link is insane. And I already proved that it doesn't exist. Ariana says, maybe I've only used or interacted with good GSD breeders, so eye issues were never an issue. I even realized they dealt with. I don't either, and I'm in contact with plenty of good GSD breeders, and not an issue I've ever heard of from literally any of them. They've talked about the hip issues. The hip issues can become a really big problem, and their lower legs sometimes can be weak, but eyes, never. My last GSD was from an AKC breeder and fully health checked for all disorders, but it was a long time ago, like 14 years ago almost, so I don't remember if there was anything about eyes in there. That said, his parents were top show dogs, but he wasn't standard line show shepherds because he was a white shepherd. I don't know if this has been changed in the past decade, but were not allowed to complete in standard AKC trials. They're still not, I don't think. White coat was a disqualifying trait, but there were separate clubs for white shepherds for their criteria. Like white sheps don't generally have the sloped back. Mine was very straight backed, which is a lot healthier for the breed. I honestly don't know why show lines promote a sloped back hind quarter, as it's not good for the hips back joints. I've tried typing multiple things into Reddit. I don't see why it's so hard to provide a link if it truly exists. You could at least tell me what to search for, since apparently it's so easy to find. It's really not. I've tried searching Reddit for service dog shitless, Lakota the service wolf, Galaxy the shepherd, etc. Nothing comes up, so it's not me refusing to admit to see the truth when there's no truth out there, and you are unwilling to provide a link to any of this supposed evidence. I do agree that a dog should be pulled from PA if they are a bite risk. I don't believe there is no hope in redeeming that dog, but they should be pulled at least and only work at home until that issue is corrected, and preferably a trainer signing off in confidence that the dog is no longer a risk. So, in my view, if a dog has bitten a child in a way, like, see, I'm kind of half and half, because, like, if the child provoked the dog, then that's one thing. If the dog nipped the child without the child really provoking it all that much, then I would say that that dog should be pulled from PA and never go back, because it's a bite risk now. And, you know, a dog that has bitten, I mean, you can never guarantee that a dog will not bite. You can never guarantee that. You can try your best. I'm a professional trainer, and I never, sign off guaranteeing that a dog will never bite. In my contract, it does say that I don't guarantee the dog will never bite. I don't guarantee that the dog will not, will keep all of its training and remember it. I do always tell them, I'm like, this is something you have to work on for the rest of the dog's life. And this is always something you're going to have to worry about. It's happened once, it can always happen again. However, Galaxy has not bitten anybody. So, the fact that this is still somehow a thing of contention is just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. And then it says, I personally would know whether or not my dog was a risk anymore if I put work into training it. But not everyone is as good as reading their dog and knowing its behavior in and out. I have full confidence in my dog. I would hope that anyone bringing their dog into public would also not do so unless their dog had full confidence they would not bite. That all said, like I said, my issue right now is there's no evidence that you've shown that this dog has ever bit anyone. And whenever I ask for evidence, you can't seem to prove it. It's not that hard to copy-paste a link to the Reddit into the reply box. I've gone out of my way to search for it using multiple keywords. Nothing comes up. So right now, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, it's all just bullying someone and making things up about their dog with no evidence, which is pretty serious bullying. Imagine how you would feel if you just got your new prospect and a whole bunch of random people started talking shit about your dog for no reason and saying they were a danger and a menace to society, etc. I'm sure that hurts. I remember my sister-in-law picking on my last dog because he liked to dig in the trash for goodies and calling him shit and saying I never trained him when, yeah, he was naughty and dumb for bones, but he was an amazing dog otherwise and fully trained and probably the best dog and sweetest dog I've ever known. But just that one comment hurt, knowing it was something we should work on still, but didn't need any other people pointing it out and dissing my dog as a whole for it. It can be really hurtful to people, and I wish more people would think about that before dragging someone. Maybe be supportive in other ways they can help work on different things if they think there's an issue. Contact the person privately and try to talk it out, or offer help or ideas to help the dog instead of dragging them through the mud, especially since all the things that she said weren't true. If she had said something that was true, then maybe I would have been like, oh, she's genuinely wanting to help, and she's genuinely trying to figure out what she can do to make the situation better. But she isn't. She's lying. She's making things up, and that's just not okay. And then she replies, I don't mind helping someone. I refuse to help anyone to put any dog back into PA with a child nipping history. That's literally not what anyone was saying. Literally nobody suggested that, especially since Galaxy's never nipped a child. But, you know, it's just so frustrating. Like, she just keeps bringing it back up as if it happened, but she has literally no proof that it did. I don't want to have child blood on my hand if the dog nips another child, or worse, fatally attacks a child. The dog has no business doing PA after it has nipped a child. But it hasn't, though. Then what's the link, then? I'm on Reddit daily. Hun, do you realize our abandoned and paranormal page makes trending on Reddit all the time? I know how it works, and I've searched many of the times. What's the link? Yeah, Sarah and I have talked about Reddit before. She knows Reddit, you know? Like, if anybody on this thread was able to find it, it would be her or me. So the fact that she can't find it, like, tells you something. And I already screen recorded that in my last video, so that should be, like, not even a point of contention anymore. And just to be totally and completely safe, I also double-checked to be sure that nothing showed up under the Galaxy Shepherd or Galaxy the Shepherd, to be 100% sure that nothing that's even remotely tied to Danielle would come up when searching those things. So there's that as well, just in case you didn't believe the last one. And then I replied, finally, because I hadn't really stepped in until now, okay, at this point, if you do not have any actual physical proof, you need to stop. This is getting way out of hand and you know it. I'm making a video where I actually screen record searching on Reddit, where I prove that you're the only one who thinks the rumor is true, and supposedly has proof for it you won't share. You have my email. If you have this proof and want it known about, send it to me. If not, please leave everyone alone. I hope at some point she realizes how silly this is, and how crazy this is, and how pointless this is. I don't know why people want to just tear other people down. Like, this doesn't make sense, okay? It just doesn't. I just don't get why this would benefit her in any way. And it's been about 30 minutes since I posted that comment. So, it is now 8:30 in the morning on November 10th, 2019, and I am done filming this video. I am going to put it together and post it and be done, because this is insanity at this point. If she has proof, she'll either send it to me or it doesn't exist, because at this point it's just ridiculous, and I'm sure she knows it. I'm sure she knows it. People have told her. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in whatever I make next. Bye.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side.